Hello, everyone, and welcome on behalf of many beings, Ann Klossing, myself, Dawn Phoenix, and a host of loving members of the family of light are joining us here today to answer any and all questions that you have about what is going on in the world today. And it can be anything. What's going on in the skies, what's going on in your homes, anything like that. So I am Dawn Phoenix. I am an ambassador for the Galactic Federation of Light. And what I do here on the planet is help be a bridge between our star families who reside in the skies above us and throughout other parts of the galaxy, who we share our genetic lineage with and are now here to support us in our next evolutionary steps forward in our ascension. And I'm here with my friend Ann, who is amazing and wonderful channel as well. Ann, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, John. This is definitely a spur of the moment from both of us. So we both said yes to this. We both agreed to this. And I am a author and a mentor, and I channel. And my favorite thing that I do is I channel the soul. So I help you grow, and only you can grow you, but I can help bring things to clarity for you by working with your soul. It's a beautiful process. And I also go live in my Facebook group every Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And those replays are always within the group, and you're more than welcome to join. That is We Conversations with the Infinite. And in that collection is I have lost people when I explain it this way. Those who have a very astute religious background, and I have no issues with it whatsoever. So my upbringing was religion, but in my upbringing, they scared the living daylights out of me. You know, a God that was going to smite you. You were going to go to hell if you did all these things, these terrible, terrible things. And I don't believe that any longer. So the container that I have, I describe it as a circle. That's creator energy. And then my lineage is I believe in past lives. And we could get into a long discussion on that, but I won't. And I believe that I have some Egyptian lineage in there. So my container is the creator. And then just these are symbols, just symbols and representations because we're physical. We taste it, we see it, we touch it, we smell it. And that's what we relate to. So putting things in boxes and labels and names are things that we like to do as humans. So I see the masculine energy as the god Osiris. I also see it as Jesus, Yeshua. And then the feminine, the bottom half of that circle, I see as Isis, and Osiris and Isis were partners. They were husband, wife as God and goddess, as well as Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And then I also see Mother Mary. So on the Egyptian side, I see Isis, I see the goddess Hathor, that motherly figure. And then in that container, the entire angelic realm, that's trillions and billions of angels, and then also 95 ascended masters. And I don't know who all they are, but that's who's in that container. And when I asked them for a name, it was we. And it was like, oh, really? I don't get a Seth or an Abraham or anything like that. And I would periodically ask, can I have another name? And it was we. They were very adamant about we. And I endear it now. And I live that we are all connected down to the blade of grass. So that is the container. So sometimes what I found lately is like the angels, especially the archangels, have such a message. So in my channels on like my Friday, like this morning, Archangel Metatron, that was his voice. Last week, I think it was Michael. And then I think the week before it was actually the collective, so they mix and match. It makes it exciting. So that's the vessel, that's the container that, I channel. So I never know.
Perfect, beautiful. And so we both channel different flavors of source ice cream. And I say different only because humans, we like to put labels on things and we will grow from, from that. But right now we need names and labels and things like that. So some of the beings that I channel are the star horses of Kerala, and their book is behind me. They are actually real horses who live on the shores of the Outer Banks in North Carolina. I channel the Phoenix Collective and anybody else who wants to come on through. Basically, it's who's got something to say, and I open my mouth and see what drops out. So I'm also the leader of the Phoenix Rising community. That's part of this wonderful collaborative. I create candles for ritual and just chilling out purposes. I am, like I said, the best-selling author. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and an animal communicator. I also create custom music as background for meditations, workshops, anything like that. So it's all, I think, a version of channeling. All the work that we put out into the world, whatever it is, we're just channeling. And like you said, you channel the soul. That's the work that we do in the world, all of us, no matter who we are. We are here to channel our souls. And to that end, what we are here to do today is have a conversation between we and the Galactic Federation of Light to just maybe shed some light on things that are happening in the world. So, Anne, if you would not mind tapping into we and going first, I have a question here, two of them actually to start with, and we'll see whatever else drops in.
All right, will do. And I believe that the biggest purpose that I am here is to create the message that we're all channelers. And I've had some people argue that with me. And then I asked them, well, what do you do that you become totally lost in whatever it is you do? And you've skipped breakfast or you entirely missed lunch because you were so into whatever project you were working on. And when you are in that state, you are in the state with your inner being, and that is channeling. So we all channel. Mine came about through my own healing. So, and it came through automatic writing first. So I journaled a lot, and then I just started writing letters to God, and that's kind of how it came. And then about a year and a half ago, they kind of tapped me on the shoulders and said, would you consider channeling in your Facebook group, creating a Facebook group to do that? And I said yes, and I did. So that's how I got started. So today it is a big stretch for me. So,
Thank
and
you
what
for
I
showing
do,
up.
yes, and what I encourage people to do is I close my eyes because I'm a third eye person. So I get clips and visions, and channeling works like this, I think, for most people, but I will speak for myself. It would be like um, watching a play. So it's like me watching myself down on stage as I'm talking like someone else. So it's totally getting out. And there's that fine line because there's interpretation and it's split second. I don't even know I'm doing it. So my words, the flair is going to be, because I'm human, is my interpretation of the information they're giving. So there's room for error always because I'm human. And that's just kind of how it works. So confirmation for me is like when I'm working with someone and we're doing like a past life, I see that person, the former self, in my mind. I see that person. And when they're unprompted, I never ask people what they look like. But when they come back and they give me this description, I'm always floored because it's, down to the hair, down to what they're wearing, down to the environment. It's like, now I know I'm doing it.
And
So
I'm
that's
going to
kind of how
jump
it
in
works
here,
for
Anne,
me.
because I want to give you
Yep.
some snaps here. Anne gave me this amazing, beautiful channel clearing and past life regression, tapping into my Akashic records as a war horse with who had lost her rider in battle. And got taken prisoner as a trophy of war. And that I think is one of the most pivotal moments of my entire life. Like my head is like getting light right now. um, to go through that life and death of that being I was, and bringing forth the parts of me who I know, are here because of who I was then. And to be reunited, there was the life, there was the death, and then there was the reunification with my rider, that you were able to help me put those pieces of my soul back together. And I want to cry right now because it was just so beautiful. And we both cried and it was amazing. So let me just tell you that Anne is just what being here with her is such a treat, and it's a privilege. So just know that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I encourage you just to close your eyes as you become relaxed. Obviously, Dawn won't be able to do that. She's watching things. But if you're watching this, because what happens as a message comes through your soul, you may hear an additional voice. It's a subtle, small voice, a quiet voice that may give you additional information. Could be a guide. Most of the time, it's your soul. So that's what I always encourage people to do. But you can certainly watch me. I talk with my hands anyway, and then when they're in, they're just da 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 da. So enjoy it. They may come in and just give kind of a background. So I'm not sure what they're going to do or who's going to come through. So it just takes me a few minutes to relax myself and get into it. So enjoy. A pleasure it is. A pleasure. What a joyous occasion this is to communicate. We are the ones who are privileged. We surround you every day, even when you perceive that you may feel you are alone. We are here to remind you that you are never alone. It is impossible, and we do not take that word for granted, impossible. We do not take that word lightly. But we tell you it is impossible to sever the cord of source. Impossible. You are divine by nature. You came into this world with such enthusiasm, such glory. You were born extraordinary, and then you forgot it. There is no wrong or right to that. We come to you today to remind you that you will never get it done and you can never get it wrong. And we know that you have questions and you look at the world around you and the war, the suffering. And we are here to remind you that you are important. You are the center, and you have a choice to partake in the war or not. And for those in the area of those war-torn areas, we understand that you are in it. And we remind you as an outsider that to be your best for them is to picture those areas as healed, the war over, the lands restored, the buildings rebuilt, and the people thriving and smiling. That is your job. Your job is to seek the divine within you. Your purpose is to live it joyously as much as possible. We're not asking you to ignore it, but we are bringing your attention to what you are feeling in this now moment, and that now is all that matters. And to partake of it, to grieve, to feel in such a way that that consumes you is not constructive. It is not healthy for you. It is not healthy for the world. It is not healthy for those around you. Do you understand how important you are to stand as an independent, to stand alone and stand strong and know that you are surrounded by Source and that you get to create a divine life? Or you can become part of all that is seemingly falling apart around you when it really is not. All it is doing is showing you what you do not want. Do you see the difference? That you are love and that you are Source. So, this is how we have set the field for today. We want you to feel the joy of life, the gratitude, the appreciation. And as you live in these areas of freedom, to truly be it, be the freedom that you seek. Understand that the pain of others is not yours. And we understand how uncomfortable and muddied that can be with family members and sometimes your friends. It is understanding the energy that you control as your own and only yours. And that is why Anne is passionate about universal law, and three in particular: the law of free will, the law of vibration, and the law of attraction. And we will not go into those, but that is her passions. And when you truly understand the law of free will, is that you can be, do, or have anything in this lifetime. And to respect the other component of that law is to realize that you only control you. It is not your job to feel or think or speak or act on another's behalf. And when you remind yourself and pause and ask yourself, is this mine or is this theirs? Most of the time you will discover that what you're in angst over is not yours to be in angst or in anxious about. If you would stop and ask yourself those questions. We will not continue on and teach and teach and teach. We could do this for hours. So it is time to field some questions.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with us today, for the audience and for us. So I have a question. This is from my son, who is 17, and he asks, what solution do ETs propose to deal with greed while maintaining a status that most humans can adapt to?
First and foremost, the universe is vast. And what you refer to as ETs, the extraterrestrials, we refer to them as light beings. And that they too derive from the same light as humans and the Creator. The job of light beings of all. We include the Galactic Federation. When you understand the glory, the perception of we, the connection of all, the job, the position of light beings is to guide. You are human. In your human status, you have the law of free will. And we mentioned it earlier. And this law is free will to the individual. And when the individual understands the power of free will, other aspects of society, those things that you refer to as greed, things that may appall you, things that are not fair. We could get into the definition of greed and the levels of greed, or one's perception is a better way to put it, of greed. Some may perceive the billionaires and trillionaires as evil or bad people because they have a lot of money. But the truth of that matter is, do you know what they really do with their money? Is it your business, when you look at the law of free will, to be, do, or have anything in this world? Perhaps it is not your business. The law of free will gives the human the choice, the decision to feel how you're going to feel. It is understanding your emotional state of being. What are you contributing to greed? Is it your perception of greed? Is it your understanding of greed? Are you projecting your viewpoint onto greed? Greed is a form of lack. Are you, as a human, going to buy into that? Are you going to put yourself in the mode of lack? Or are you much bigger than that? Can you, as the individual, create the joy and appreciation of any form of abundance? And does greed really pertain to you? As you, as an individual, are in a state of joy, your light shines immensely. If you could see it from our perspective, when you're in a state of joy and an appreciation, and you really don't give a darn about what greedy people do, your light shines for miles. We're not saying not to be concerned about worldly affairs. And yes, there are those who come from the egocentric mind and are doing acts of greed. They are greedy, but in so doing, they are in lack. Are you going to contribute to the lack mentality, the lack societal norms, or are you going to stand and rise above that? Are you going to create your own wealthy world? And however you see it fit. That is what we have come here for, is to get you to understand is that you create your reality. Are you going to stand in judgment of those who you think are greedy? Or are you going to say, I don't give a damn what they do, but I do give a damn about what I do? And I lead my life in service of others. And when I lead in service of others, the wealth is amazing, not just in monetary forms, in friendship, in community, in networking, and all the things and opportunities that come up that make you abundant. They don't make you, you created that. Does this help, dear one?
I think that is perfect and beautiful. Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right. I have my own question. I have heard through other outlets, not the mainstream media, through YouTube videos and other people who channel, that there is the possibility, everything I know exists as a possibility or a probability, but there is a possibility that there will be a coming concept of 3 days of darkness. And part of what will cause that is two ships stationing at the Earth's north and south pole to bring the Earth to a standstill and correct the counterclockwise orbit so that it then runs clockwise. And that what will cause the darkness would be one of the ships orbiting between the Earth and the sun for a time. And I just didn't know if you had some insight into that.
Questions of curiosity. We adore them. Think of the universe in terms of your body. And do you think about every breath that you take? Do you think about the beating of your heart? Do you think about the food that you consume? And are you worried if it doesn't come out the other end? The world is always in motion. The world is always turning, spinning. And know that universal design is impeccable. Possibilities, probabilities, predictions. That's all part of the human characteristic. And we love you so much for that. What we would rather, it would be our preference, and we would say consideration is that important to you today? Is that of concern? Will it affect you and your daily living? Those are questions only you can answer. What we're trying to lead you into is that it is not a concern. And should the world become dark for 3 days, it is not as if the world will stop revolving. We give to you the example of the energies in 2012 and the predictions that the revelation, the end of the world was coming. That time period has since gone, and you are still here today, breathing. And you were breathing back then. And what some predict as darkness may only be a cloudy day for others. Does this put some perception to your question?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Thank you. So there's The burning question that is on, I think, many people's minds right now throughout the world concerning the drones in the United States and other parts of the world. Uh, and this may also be a similar answer, I understand, but I want to ask anyway because I am a curious human. And I also want to help, anybody who may have, some fears around this. I don't, but those who do. Can you shed any light on their purpose and who they might possibly be?
We sense the discomfort with the question within the channeler. So let's allow her to relax. And you are correct. A similar answer. Humans are human, and humans make choices, whether they be perceived as good or bad. To alleviate the fear, again, is where you place your attention. And your social media, so eager to jump on juicy topics, juicy conversation, and striking fear into many. We will let you know there is nothing to fear. And again, we encourage you to focus your attention on joy. If you can be curious about the drones without working yourself into a frenzy, then be curious about it. If it brings you joy and satisfaction and excitement, then dig deeper. But if it scares you, we're not telling you to run to a shelter. We're asking you not to place your attention to it. If you are seeking answers on when the galactic light beings will appear, this will be a gentle transition. Because of the fear and hysteria that can be placed within the human, this has to be a gentle transition. And don't you, dear one, dear Dawn, realize this? And that the importance of what you are doing and getting the word out in gentle manner is so important. And the light that you will spread because of it makes the contact smooth. And there are individuals who have already made contact, but they know when it is time to come forward. One of those beings, many of you watch on YouTube, Bashar Daralanka. And these ETs, or light beings is what we like to call them, are so supportive of humanity. We so want humanity to realize that if you become extinct, we no longer exist. You are creation. You are what makes worlds. Without humanity, the rest will die in time and become no more. You are light. We have used these teachings in Ann's community. There is one source. We are all connected to it. Not just we, you, us. You create worlds. What an important job. And all that we are asking you to do is to step into the light and out of the darkness. The earth is changing, and she is awakening, and she is in her glory, and she has never been healthier. And the worry over global warming and the worry over this and over that is only the guilt and the shame of what you have done to her. And we're not saying you as individuals, you as humanity. Certain choices have been made. There's no right or wrong to it. And of course, things are going to be uncomfortable as she shakes you up, wakes you up. Humanity has been in a deep slumber. They have been hiding behind fear, living in it for centuries, thousands of years. Think of it. If you were in a peaceful slumber, it's 2 a.m. in the morning and you're in deep sleep, and someone comes in and wakes you up. Are you not startled? Doesn't it frighten you a little bit? What was so important to awaken you? As the mother earth awakens, so does her children. And that is what you are feeling. The anxiety within you, the shakeup of humanity. Some of you will get it, some of you won't. There's no right or wrong to either of it. So why not enjoy it? Why not know that you have total control over your life? You have total control over your state of being. You have total control over your wealth or your lack thereof it. You are creation. That is what we desire you to be in awe of, that you are the creator. Are you the mother? Is that your desire, to raise a family, to homeschool, to be community to your family? Ah, the sacredness of family, the sacredness of the mother, the birth of the child, sacred. Or are you 70 years old and you're waking up? What have I done with my life? Anne knows several women in their 70s and their 80s who she finds awe-inspiring. They have gone back and got their degrees. They are going back and taking control of their life, and they are living life to the fullest. And isn't that beautiful? You are control of your life. Be in awe of that. Embrace that, even when you may not feel like it. That's the shakeup. That's the glory. Enough?
Wow. that really hit me here as a mother. And also someone who says, what have I done with my life? So both parts. All right. I think maybe one more question. And this one's going to be a little personal because I have you here all to myself. And if I know I have this question, then it also must be true for others in the collective because I know that's how it works. So I will ask on behalf of others who might have the same question. I I have belief through experience and information that's been shared with me uh, that I have a hybrid daughter. And I say hybrid with quotes because we're hybrids. Humans, we're hybrids. So I have a daughter among you, not here on the planet. And I was just wondering if there was any way that there could be connection with her in this forum here, besides the way that I do connect with her. I tell her I love her every night, go to my window and tell her that I cannot wait to hold her in my arms and that I will see her soon. So just curious about our children and our family over there.
Those, and our channeler knows of this herself. She miscarried before her first full birth and what you refer to as a hybrid. Those in the veil, those who have transformed, and she's always with you, always, especially when you think of her. And she says to you, why wait to hold her? She says, invite me into your heart and hold me. Invite me in often and hold me. The Trinity. So much to talk about. The Trinity of what many know as the Holy Spirit in those religious contexts. But what I and we and all of us here desire you to know is the Trinity in your heart. If you can picture a triangle in your heart, in the top of that triangle is always Source, always the Creator. And then at the base of that triangle, when it is you alone as a single person, you are on the left side of that base, and on the right side is your guardian angel. You may picture it as a triangle in your heart. You may picture it as a comfy, cozy room. This is your heart, your space. Your guardian is always with you. But your guardian in a sacred space within the heart will step aside and move over onto your left side. And you may bring in that individual to the right side, whom you would refer to as deceased, passed on. We encourage you to strike those words and insert transformed. They never left you. And when you long for that person, sit in the quietness of a room. Better yet, sit in nature and listen to the soothing sounds of nature. And as you picture this triangle in your heart, you invite the person to the right side of that triangle, and you host as long as conversation as you desire. It is time for the human to understand that you are infinite. And it is true they are no longer here in the physical. But when you remember those times where you were in such great joy with that individual, and you bring that energy into your heart, you will see the person you are so longing for. You will begin to have conversation with them. If visualization is a challenge for you, then we encourage you to write them the old school way, piece of paper, pen in hand, whatever your favorite writing tool is, and write them, ask them questions, and wait for the response. They have always been with you, always. And Anne can tell you many of her stories of her child, the one unborn, and also with her father. And she will tell you she has a much better relationship with her father now than she did in the living. Open a corner of your mind and invite them in. Does this help?
Um, I thought of one more question as you were going through this when you were mentioning the triangle, because what came to me was my divine counterpart. And I hesitate to use the word twin flame because I don't resonate with that languaging. Um, I think that it is taken on meanings that it was never meant to, with humanity here. So uh, immediately what popped in for me was before you said a guardian angel was my divine counterpart. And they may be one and the same, I don't know. So I was just wondering if you could possibly speak to your take on what divine counterparts are. Down here, we have so many different definitions, and people telling us what it is. And it's sometimes hard to cut through to the truth for us.
The truth for you may be different than the truth for another, but we do agree with you that the twin flame energy, there is such an energy, but it has been overused, perhaps is a better term. And what we described to you is the guardian angel. All of you have a guardian angel. And this guardian angel was assigned to you from the inception, the incarnation of the soul, not the incarnation of the human, the incarnation of the soul. So, as the Creator created you, infinite being, an angel was assigned to you. And this angel knows you better than you know you. This angel has been with you through lifetimes. So as you sit in contemplation in this wonderful triangle, it is your guardian angel that think of them as somewhat of a gatekeeper of thought and feelings and allowing certain things in and not. Um, think of it as the guardian angel if you were driving on a road. Think of this being as when you begin to be consumed in thought or get drowsy. This is the individual who will put ideas in your head to keep you safe, to keep you awake. Don't take this turn, take the next turn. And when you become familiar with your guardian angel, you can have this conversation with them. And they're here to continually put you, kind of steer you back on to your path and purpose. Now, there is free will. So you must ask your angel and the entire angelic realm and God. God cannot interfere because of the law of free will. You must ask. That is fundamental law of the free will. So your guardian and your guides and the angels will do everything in their power to put you back on course. They cannot intervene, but if you ask them, then, oh, careful what you ask for. They will do their best to put you back on course. Does this help?
Thank you so much. Whew. All right, that's a lot of beautiful, beautiful truth to embody and to sit with, to integrate. So, my last request here in this conversation is what would be your parting words in this, conversation here for humanity as we move forward in this ascension process?
Yes, we enjoy that opportunity. We like the word selfish. Become selfish, not in an egotistical manner. Learn to love the self. Learn to become centered. As you become centered and aligned and understand that you are this inner being, that is the driving life force within you, everything that is unpleasant that may come before you becomes lighter, becomes easier. That does not mean that you will not experience grief or powerlessness. But as you become centered and you can look through the lens of the soul, look through the lens of the creator, you life becomes so much lighter. And the power that you hold, think think of it this way, retain the power. Humanity has given their power away so freely. The power that you hold within you could fight 1,000 men. We have seen humanity struggle with the wars, with the killing, but your true power is to rise above all of that. Your true power is to live as a peaceful warrior, one who puts down the sword. They lay the sword to the side, they bring the shield and lower the shield. They begin to use compassion as a tool, appreciation, faith. Living and experience life through that lens is far more powerful than any war. We don't like to use statistics, but we will in this case. About a year or so ago, when we came through, we said that 86% of humanity was awakening. That number keeps rising. We'll round up. 89%. This was in a year's time. From 86 to 89% is humanity, your entire planet, 89% is in their awakening, either fully awakened and walking into mastery, or somewhere in the soul's shakeup. How does that make you feel? Knowing there's 11% and that number will climb rapidly. That is why the galactic beings are here today, because they are inviting this energy into you. They are here to support you. They are here to teach you a better way of living than in fear. And isn't that delicious? Is this your last question?
It is, and it is so yummy. It is very. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time here with us so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here always, because you never leave us.
That is correct. We are enlightened because of you. We are complete.
Thank you, Anne. All right, so I have a thought that we'll take a little bit of a break, pause the video, and then we'll come back. for me to do my section. And with the Galactic
Thanks.
Federation, yeah, because it takes a minute, guys. If when you channel, it is a rush of energy, and it also is a little draining. So there's bio breaks that need to be done, and we'll be back in a moment. All right. Welcome back, everyone. You didn't go anywhere, but we did. So this is going to be like our part two, and I am going to channel the Galactic Federation of Light, and uh, I'll let them explain a little bit about who they are. But my personal experience with them that I can recall, that's the thing that I can recall, was back in 2020 during the pandemic. I had a dream one night that I was walking around with a being who was very tall, maybe 7 feet or so, very pale skin, skinny, humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, 5 fingers and toes, not really clothing, but not needing clothing, because he was more of a light being. And I just got masculine energy. And I was walking around with him by his side, introducing him to people. And it would be, we'd go up to a group of people standing, on a street corner, and I'd be, hey, have you met Bob? And I don't really know if I ever got a name, but the word Bob always keeps coming in. And so people are all like, oh, and they were just kind of like standing there like, huh. And so and that was kind of like what I remember from that dream. So when I woke up, I was so excited. It was like I had been asked, we're looking for, someone to fill this position, or are you willing to take on this role that we would like to assign you? Or are you ready to step into the role that is already yours? Whatever version of that was, I said yes, yes to all of it. Is to me, it's the most exciting thing on the planet to be able to be that ambassador and be that go between the world that we don't currently see a lot of, and then our world here in the 3D, between our family of light and those of us who are here, boots on the ground. We're all part of the same family. It's just some of them are over there, it's location, and some of us are here. So then fast forward years and years later, and this was a couple weeks ago. I was looking out, and I've posted these on my Facebook page. Uh, I looked out my sliding doors. I live in Dayton area of Ohio, and I live near a pretty busy highway and a little bit of trees. So it's like highway to the right, trees to the left. And I just looked out over the trees, and it was just getting to be around sunset time, and I like to look at when the leaves are changing just to see how the light is. And I was just looking, and I hadn't really gone by the door or anything really all day. I was very immersed in my work at the computer. And so when I got the, hey, go to your door, okay. And I went out and I looked, and there were these clouds that didn't look like the other clouds that were around them. They were smoother and they were elongated. I knew that they were light ships. And I knew that our galactic, family can morph clouds. That wasn't news to me. And so when I saw this, I was excited. And so throughout, my life, I have picked up information on how to connect, with our galactic family. And so I did the first thing they ask you to do when you're connecting is to feel into your heart. How do you feel when you see this? And immediately I felt joy and ecstasy and excitement. And so I knew, okay, this is okay. This is okay to do. And then after I felt into how do I feel about this, then I knew that I was available and open to be able to ask and enter into conversation with them. And this is not a new concept for me as an animal communicator. Same idea. It's just you're connecting with a light being instead of an animal here in the physical. So I just reached out and I asked, who are you? First I said welcome and hello, and then I asked, who are you? And they just said, we are your progeny and your future, just as you are ours. We are your family. We love you very much, and you will be seeing a lot more of us. And this will be happening a lot more, they said. And I was like, oh boy, oh boy. And then they said, watch as the sun sets, and we're going to leave you a gift. okay. So I waited a few minutes and the light really started to fade and it went to like the really pretty pinks. And right in that same area where I was looking, a cloud, literally before my eyes, one of the ships morphed into a feather. It was just a beautiful feather that the light played off of, like in such a gorgeous way. And I thought, wow, that was beautiful. So I was like, oh boy, this is so exciting. It's starting. And then 2 nights later, I had a dream. Now, in the dream I had in Georgia when I was living in Savannah in 2020, there was no ship. It was just me and Bob walking around with people. He was just there. In this dream, I was with my son and we were at a shopping plaza and like maybe like a TJ Maxx, something like that, just small, small. And I got out of the car, he got out of the car, and we were walking toward the store. And there was a group of people, maybe 10 people, standing in front of the store in the parking lot. And they were all just looking up, and nobody was saying a word. And I'm like, I look up and all of a sudden this beautiful dark colored ship, and the best I can describe it is as it looks like a Y-wing fighter from Star Wars. If you want to Google that, it has arms that are wings that will fold up like this. And so it was skinny, like, imagine me is the interior part where there would be the place where the people would go. And then the wings were folded up like this, and it was just coming down like in a landing formation. And there was no sound. It wasn't blowing anything anywhere. It just landed right there in the parking lot between the people in the store, very quietly, very gently. And I remember just sort of scooting through the crowd and being like, come on, come on. And I said that to my son. And I don't know if he ever did because I was just focused on what happened. And so I got to the front of the crowd and the door, it opened like this, coming down very slowly, very gently. And I was surprised and they were maybe 10 feet away, not too far. And uh, it was darkish kind of inside, but also lit up enough that you could see the people, but it wasn't bright like this room is here. It was a little bit darker. And there were maybe, I'd say 5 or 6 people inside. I can't, you don't count when you see these things, but it wasn't like crowded. It was just, it was a small ship, maybe 4 or 5 people. They looked just like us. I mean, they seriously did. There was nothing about them that I thought looked weird. What was interesting to me was how I felt. As soon as that I saw the ship and it landed and they opened the door, I was just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Oh, I'm gonna crap myself. And I was just so ecstatic again. And so they spoke, but without words, without hearing, their mouths didn't move. It was telepathy. And they just said that we're here with you and we want you to get to know us. And they wanted us to feel. And I don't know what anybody in the crowd was doing because everything just kind of faded away behind me. So like nobody was scared, nothing happened behind me. People were just there. And they just said, we want you to get used to us. So we're here to visit with you. And that was it. They didn't ask anything of us. They didn't even come out of the ship. It was very, very gentle. And then what happened was off to my right, on the side of the building, there was like where that big giant hose connection is for a fire department to come and hook up a hose in case they need to put a fire out. And it started making this really loud hissing noise. And I was like, that's really annoying. And it was just like, ugh. And so the commander of the ship said to one of his lieutenants, and nobody introduced these ranks. This is just what I got, from the dream. He just said, could you go take care of that, please? And so this man, he walks down the ramp and he had dark skin. It was very interesting. He had dark skin and he was a little bit overweight. And I was like, huh, that happens to you guys too. Okay. You can gain and lose just like we can. That's interesting. And so he had dark skin, dark hair. And he came down and he went over to the hose connection that was hissing and making that noise. And he had this little doodad in his hand, and it looked like something that you might see out of, Star Trek. And he just kind of hit a couple buttons on it, and immediately the sound stopped. And then he just turned around, he went right back up in the ship. He didn't interact with us or anything. It was just very, and then then I woke up. So what I got, from these things that had happened is I was asked permission to activate as an ambassador back in 2020. And then they waited, they waited a good long time for human time for me, to bring me more information and through them directly, but I would get information all the time coming in around me through meditation and things like that. And the videos that I watch that, I perceive as truth for me. And then when it was time, then the light ships arrived. And then once I didn't freak out about that, then, then they put the light ships and the people together in that dream. And so I just kind of took that as that gentle progression of, would you like to do this for real for us now that you know what we're asking specifically, with being that ambassador? And I was like, I am so all about this. So that's why I'm here today. I've never channeled the Galactic Federation of Light before, and I'm going to let them explain who they are to you because I may not even fully understand, in my human capacity. So I'm going to let them do that. And Anne is going to ask some questions. I don't know if they're going to have anything to share when they come forward, but they are going to introduce themselves. I know that. So without further ado, they're already here. They have been asking
Whenever you're ready.
to come forward. Finally, dear ones, she talks. She talks. This one can talk, which is one of the reasons we chose her, but it also is a detriment. Not a detriment, but patience. There is waiting. So without further ado, here we are. Here we have always been with you. We have never left your sides. We have never left you alone, ever. And we need you to understand that, dear ones. We need you to feel that in your hearts. It's not a mind, it's a heart. It's a heart space. And here is why we can tell you we have never left you, because within you are the seeds of the universe, are the seeds of our DNA. And we are your family. We are your family of the light. So humans, if you think of the universe as a vast tapestry, there are different threads that are woven together to create the universe. And each point of light is a thread. It is a point of consciousness. And there are multiple threads that can be woven together to create new colors, to create new textures in this tapestry. And humanity is one such set of threads that have been woven together to help create texture and vibrancy and new colors in the universe. And of course, when you have multiple threads woven together, you also have those individual threads. And those individual threads are us and are others who are here around your planet cheering you on and being your support team, and others who are not present at this moment here physically, but always energetically. And so first, we would like you to understand, first and foremost, that those of us stationed around your planet, those of us who are making ourselves known to you, those of us who walk among you, and we do, and you may not know it, and you may, it just depends if you've noticed. We are so closely linked to you that it is very difficult for you to tell by looking at us. If we pass you by in the street, it is definitely, you might get a feeling, something's not right here. What you might call your Hollywood movies might call it a glitch in the matrix. And we're not talking about the matrix as being a bad thing or a good thing. We're just saying you might notice something's off and I don't really know what to do with that. And then you continue on your day. So we need you to understand that we are your genetic family. You are our lineage. But the same is true that we are your lineage. Time is not linear in the way that humans experience it. That is your privilege to experience time in a linear fashion. so that experiences can be parsed out and experienced in their fullness and separate instead of crashing down on you all at once in the now moment. Because as a human, you are not designed to function in that capacity. That's not your function. You are designed to experience at present. This is not always going to be the case. At present, your design is to experience in a linear fashion. And what this does for you is give you, basically, if you will, a manual, a step procedure on how to experience things in full. And once you have experienced what you need to in full, then you get to experience something else and something else and something else. So it's that the universe has basically laid out this beautiful buffet. And instead of making you eat everything all at once, it's letting you choose what you want to put on your plate when you want to put that on your plate. So going back to who we are, we've established now that we are your family, and you know you can feel this in your heart, that you are safe with us, and that we love you very much. And the Galactic Federation of Light is a collective of beings from throughout the entire universe, your galaxy, and far beyond, places you would not even imagine, that you haven't imagined yet as your human selves, that have come together. We are all different races. We are Andromedan, we are Syrian, we are Pleiadian, we are Lyran. We are races you have never even heard of yet. You don't even have words for at this time. And we all sit equally on this council and serve together to keep peace throughout the universe. And not all races are a part of this federation. There are criteria that need to be met. And our purpose here with humanity, we're just going to cut straight to the chase. Our purpose here with you today is to help you to understand your role in the universe, that you are galactic beings. You did not come from the earth with just some atoms coming together happenstance. Oh, look, it's a human. That's not what happened. You were created intentionally, and you have a purpose, and your DNA strands, many of which have been DNA, junk DNA is what scientists call what they cannot understand. That's the DNA that belongs to us, that we have shared with you, that we have chosen to imbue you with in your roles as the caretakers of this beautiful planet you inhabit. And so your role as a human is to have your experiences here on this beautiful planet Earth, to rise to your ascension, and to help her rise in her ascension, just as she helps you. It is a very symbiotic relationship. Because you carry your DNA that comes from many other civilizations and races throughout the universe, what you accomplish for yourselves echoes out energetically through your DNA into the universe. And what you do for yourself, you do for us all. You all carry great responsibility that is not a burden, but a privilege. And you signed up for this, dear ones. You chose to be here. Even if you don't agree with that statement at present, you chose to be here. So we are here to help, as a loving parent will guide their young until they are old enough to think and do and be for themselves. We are here to guide you, to help you when you fall, to pick you up, brush you off, and help set you on your way. We are not here to control. We are not here to rescue. We are here to support and to guide as you grow and mature into the fullness of your beings. And when that is accomplished, and dear ones, you are so close, you do not even know how close you are. This one, she does not even know how close, because if she did, she would probably burst into a million pieces because excitement is her thing. You are so close to that point. When you reach that point of maturity, there are seats at the table, at the council, with your names on it, humanity. And you will serve as ambassadors for Earth, for your beautiful planet in the Galactic Federation of Light. So we are here to tell you there are vacancies open, just letting you know. And when it's time, you will step up and fulfill that role, those of you who choose to. That's our introduction. We are open for questions.
So many beautiful words put into a context that are relatable, digestible, and understood. So I thank you, thank you, thank you for that introduction.
Our pleasure.
And I think you've touched on it, the relationship to humanity. So that was my question, was what's the Federation relationship to humanity? If you would just put a kind of a shine to that, if you would.
So if you think of it in terms of Earth family, we are your great great grandparents, but we are also your children, and we can explain. So we will attend to the ancestor aspect first. As stated, you share DNA with us, and so biologically, that means that if we came first and we shared our DNA, we are then older, and that makes us your ancestors. So we are biologically linked to you. Not every human carries the DNA of every race in the universe. There are some of you who may carry 1 or 2 or 12 or 4. It just depends. There's on how you are. And some of you will resonate more with a particular name, a star system, something that you hear. Those of you who are awakened to this concept. And then there's the concept of being your progeny, your children, your offspring. Because at the same time, when we help to create you, since time is not linear in the fashion that humans experience it, everything is happening all at once, all in the now moment, and that is all there is. And as you grow and change and mature and ascend, that affects your DNA, and that ripples out into the universe, as we have stated. And then you are creating life. You are creating more beings through your energetic contributions. So what you do for yourself ripples out. If you think of your trees on your planet, our channel is asking for a visual. She likes visuals. Metaphors. Metaphors are great. If you think of a tree blowing in the wind, and in the springtime, you have allergies that come about because all of these wonderful little pieces of the tree, these pieces of pollen, they go flying around, and that is so that the tree can procreate and grow more little trees. And it's a wonderful thing. You humans, think of yourselves as trees. You are planted there on the earth, and yet your influence reaches so much further. For when you make change, when you ascend, when you come into realizations and have experiences, that blows through a galactic breeze out throughout the universe. And those little pieces, those pollens, they take root in other places in the galaxy, and new life is created. And you have been doing this for many, many, many generations. So there are those of us who are your ancestors. There are also those of us who you have helped to create. And as we are all part of one unconditional loving source, everything is all one consciousness. So we can be your ancestors and your progeny all at once. You can be our ancestors and our progeny and our future all at once. Does that help to shed more light, dear one?
Yes, it does. And for first-time listeners, wrapping one's head around that can be a lot the first time, but it makes sense to me because I've wrapped part of my head around oneness. So thank you so much for that. Um, what has been, I think, a concern, and we love our media so much. There's been like drone sightings on the East Coast. Is there any concern for the drones that we are seeing? Are they the light beings? Are they part of that, or are they of some other nature?
Those are our ships. Many of them, not all, many of them are our ships, but even the ones that are not, they are of human origin. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear, no matter what belongs to whom. We need you to understand that first and foremost. Please, dear ones, those of you listening, watching, whatever, please understand and feel. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in this moment, because this is a concept that can bring about anxiety. And now take another deep breath. You're grounding yourselves in this now moment so that you can receive truth. And the truth is, there is nothing to fear. What these drones, and you call them drones, we will use that word for you because we love you and we always want to treat you in the most loving and gentle way possible. These ships that you see in your skies, they are versions of ours, versions that are able to, given our technology, change what they look like, what they sound like, how they move, based on what is needed at the time. So if you look up and there is something that you see that you think looks like one thing, that is because it is what is necessary to be seen at that time to deliver a particular message. Then it can change to something else because it's time for another message to come through, or it's time for another piece of information to be understood. And our purpose in sending these little messengers to you, they are unmanned for the most part, and this was for our safety as well as yours. We do know that sometimes humanity can be the term the term Dawn wants to use is trigger happy. Uh, Sometimes that's the case. So first, we are just introducing ourselves to the general public with these vehicles that are unmanned. And you also have this technology, which is why we came forward to create this visual for you in that way that you would be able to understand it. If we were to come forth and show you one of our ships in its true form, it would be very challenging for you, as Anne, you put it, to wrap your heads around. So we are trying to be as gentle and gradual as possible as we come to introduce ourselves to the general public. So, number one, there is nothing to fear. You are safe. You are safe in your homes. You are safe wherever you go. Your children, your animals, your neighbors. You are all safe wherever you are in the world, because this is a global event. This is not only happening on the East Coast, this is happening all over the world, and it will continue to do so. And it is like the most high vibrational, joyful game of dominoes there ever was. Because our purpose here is to help all humans. And when we say all humans, we do not only mean the citizen who goes to work and that works their 9-to-5 job every day, wherever they live in the world. We are talking the people who have the jobs in places of power, who have great responsibility, who have been put into place in these positions of power, who represent the others around them. Again, it is the being the ambassador. There are different ways that people can be ambassadors. And so these are the people who are your ambassadors. And some of these people who have been put into these positions of power have honored the sanctity of that position, the responsibility, the alignment with truth that must be upheld. And then there are others who got a little tipsy with the access to that kind of power and kind of veered off in a different direction. And so all we are doing here with these unmanned little mechanical vehicles is to help put those people back into alignment with the truth, because the truth is they are not the ones who hold all the power. They never have. They never will be. And they have gotten a little carried away. And while we are also your progeny, we are your ancestors. We are like your loving parents. And we are stepping in to make sure that you stop hurting yourselves and you stop hurting each other. So lovingly, we are here as a parent who picks up a toddler who has maybe tried to get into the kitchen cabinet and is rifling around in the things that are not good for them. We are just gently picking you up, seating you somewhere safe, and locking that cabinet door. So we are here to lock the cabinet door and to say to the ones, you have a choice. And here is your choice. You can continue to try to get into the cabinet, but you're not going to get anywhere. That's your choice, and that's okay. Or you can go find something else to do, and we have a plethora of things that we can give you to go play with. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So you can waste your time trying to break into the cabinet, or you can go find other things to do, and we are going to help you. So that is what we are doing here today. We are here, and throughout, it's not just today, we are staying here until this is complete, because things will not go back to the way that they were. And prior to all of these mass sightings of our vehicles. And another purpose of this is to help everybody to understand we're not alone. And that is a good thing. People, all people, no matter who they are, throughout the entire universe, one thing we all have in common is that we crave belonging. We all want to belong. And that stems from belonging to Creator Source and understanding that you are not alone. You are never alone, because you are that which you are created from. You are part of that greater consciousness that is always with you. And so we are here to help crack that door open for you very gently. And those of you who are ready to walk through will continue to have more experiences where you open that door and deepen your understanding of who you truly are in this universe and who is around you to support you with loving arms and to show you you are not a random occurrence. You are a beloved seed who has been watered and is growing and needs love and light in order to reach your full potential. And that is absolutely what we are doing here. So just think of these visitations from these vehicles. We have lights on them for a reason. That is no mistake. Everything we do is intentional, dear ones, everything. And it is all for your greater good. There are lights there for you to see We could zip around in the dark and do things in secret, but that is not what truth is about. Truth is not afraid of the light. Truth is the light. And so we shine those lights and we shine those beautiful colors for you so that you can see the light in the dark. And once you understand that exists, then your next step is to understand that you too are lights, dark.
That is so beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm. Our
So in
pleasure.
a way, this is this what you would call first contact
Yes, for some,
for
for
some?
some. There are others who have had personal contact, their own first contact, whether it be through meditative experiences, through dreams, through physical contact. There are those of you who have had that unfavorable contact, and we refer to the abductions, and we're not going into that energy right now, of others who in times past did, have those visitations. They did create those experiences. And that, yes, is a form of contact, but that is not who we are. And they are no longer performing in that way. They are no longer allowed to. We have put protections around the earth for humanity's sake to prevent that. It has been deemed illegal by even a larger entity than the Galactic Federation of Light. We simply carry out those mandates. So there are people who have had their own personal experiences. Also, what we can tell you is those of you, you may have had experiences, if you will call it a past life, and there's no past, or there is no present, or there's no future, there is only the now. But what you refer to as a past life, you may have remembered your lifetimes in other parts of the universe. So, in that way, you have always had contact because that's who you are. And in your human incarnation, you desired to experience that, that was you, but forgetting who you are, so that you got to experience meeting yourself. And so that is another way that contact has been made. So for that has been very much on the down low, if you will. And it has been largely secret. There are those who have shared, and some were, greeted with skepticism. Many were, and it was just not time for that to come out into the open yet. The energetic frequency of the human consciousness was not at the place that resonated at that frequency, in alignment with that frequency of that type of disclosure. So skepticism creeped in. So now this is a compliment to humanity that we are making our presence known to you publicly. So those of you who have had even any kind of experience, and you may deem it positive, you may deem it negative, it was a privilege to have that, because you each were chosen for a specific reason to have that experience. And it was because you carried a vibration that was in alignment with with the experience of understanding that there are light beings around you and outside of humanity who exist. So now humanity has moved much, much further along in their evolution, and quite quickly, mind you. If we were not more on our toes, we would have been caught unawares, but we have been observing, and that's the beauty of observing, because we could track and say, wow, they're moving pretty fast. We better get on this. So we decided that this is time. You are ready. We don't fear governments. We don't fear military, because those vibrations don't exist where we operate from. So, if you will, uh, it would be like taking a water balloon and throwing it against a brick wall. there's no way that it could possibly get through. And that's not a challenge, and that's not coming from a place of bravado or ego. It is simply saying there is this vibration. We can call it the vibration of the number 5. And our vibration is the number 10. And the vibration 5 cannot jump high enough to reach the vibration number 10. So these low vibrational energies of fear or violence, they literally just, they cannot make it. They cannot make it up to this vibration. And that is why we say we do not fear. It is simple, if you will, physics. You can only jump so high if you are a particular vibration. Now, most of humanity, and we do believe, and when you channeled we, they said 89% of humanity. Numbers are so fun. 89% of humanity has become awakened. You have come online and woken up. Even, it doesn't have to be completely and fully. You have stepped into some semblance of awakening. And that is all we needed. That is all we needed. For there to be enough of you for this experience to begin to unfold in a way that was not to your detriment. We could have shown ourselves at any time and not feared what would happen to us. But we wanted to do it when you were ready, because that is what love does. We wanted to be as gentle as possible, because what you're going to learn in the coming days, weeks, months, and years is really going to shift your perception of existence entirely, of yourselves and of everything around you. So I want you to understand that this is a co-creation, because you have let us know energetically that you are ready. You are mature now. We are not handing you the keys to the Ferrari, but we're going to let you sit in the garage with us, and we're going to show you how to play with the radio. And our channel is reminding us that we sound contradictory at the moment, so we need to clarify. When we said we sent in our unmanned vehicles for our safety and yours, yes, we are telling you that if we were to place our beings into the density where they come down that low into your dimension, they would be in that physical density where those lower vibrations, the vibration would slow. So they would slow their natural vibration to match that was around them. And then, yes, maybe if something did try to shoot them down, because you know this has happened in your histories, you know you have your Area 51, your Roswell, your Battle of LA over in California. So these things have happened. It is possible. It is possible when we slow our vibration to match the density of this area of the earth down here. So we have created a compromise. We have taken that which is of our frequency and our higher density, our higher dimensional density, and morphed it to appear and to be physical in your world, but to keep ourselves safe until it is time for us to join with you and walk among you openly, which will happen, joyfully. Only when it's time, then that will occur. But only when it is safe for all, for you and for us.
That was beautiful, because it leads me into, I think, to maybe help some time here. This has been wonderful. So what is coming through my mind right now is sovereign. And you are here this is my definition, that you are here to assist humanity in becoming sovereign. Is that correct?
You are correct, dear one. You are on it. You are wise. Yes. So if you think about your human histories, and even those of you who still have sovereigns now, what is the purpose of a sovereign? Their purpose is to lead. Their purpose is to be the leader, not only of their people, but for their people, to guide them, to show them, to be of service. And so sovereign and royalty are the concepts of being of service. Now, in your world, you put your sovereigns on thrones to serve the people, to serve groups. And unfortunately, when you come into the lower density vibrations that are here on the planet or that have been in the past, this is stopping. And this is not the case as much anymore, but this has been skewed, this concept of a sovereign. And so there have been bastardizations and has been misaligned with its original concept, so that there have been abuses of power, and that is not what a sovereign is. So a sovereign is here, a sovereign leads, and a sovereign is a leader. And to be the leader and to be of service, you have to do that first for yourself. And this is a law of the universe. You must do for yourself first, whatever it is. Whatever it is, if there's something that you want to see happen in the world, it must be done within you first. And so when we say you are all sovereign beings, we are telling you, you are the rulers of your destiny. You are the rulers of your thrones. You create your lives. You create your worlds. You help to create other worlds. You are the creator beings. And if you look into your history books and online and your internet and you see these sovereigns, they wear things. And these are symbolic. And they're symbolic for a reason. One of the things that your royalty, your sovereigns wear is a crown. And think about, there's something that is beautiful and bejeweled and precious that sits atop the head. That is your crown chakra. That is the entry point where you connect in on an individual level to the energy of the universe, where the me, that is the individual, connects into the all that is, which is the full and non-individuated expression of source. So it is where the me meets the I am presence of the all that is. You are two sides of the same coin. And so that crown there, you all wear a crown on your crown. That is highlighting and signifying your connection to source, to that I am energy. So you are all royalty. You all wear crowns that have, if you will, antenna that connects you and tethers you to the larger aspect of yourself that you have yet to fully experience, because you are here to be individuated expressions of that side of the coin. So we would just like you to think a little bit about your world and the things in it, and just sort of start questioning, is there a deeper meaning to something that I see or have experienced in my world? And we just start with the crown because it's a great place to start.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
We're pleased to hear you think so, dear one. We hope that is the case for all.
Oh, I'm just going to wear my crown proudly.
Do so, please, everyone.
Yes, yes. I will encourage everyone to get their crown and be aware of it, make it visible, and then shine. So, for the viewers who tap into this wonderful recording, do you have any parting messages?
We want you to understand that where you are today can be vastly different than where you are tomorrow. And we mean that in the best way possible. You have the ability, dear ones, to jump timelines and traverse experiences in ways that you can't even imagine yet. And it can happen in less than the span of a breath, a heartbeat, a blink, whatever your short little, measurements are. Understand, dear ones, that where you are in this reality right now, if you are not preferring your circumstances, as our dear friend Bashar likes to say, if it is not what you prefer, you always, dear ones, always have the power to change it. It doesn't matter what's around you. That's external to you. And like we just said, if there's a change that you wish to see, you are sovereign. You have the power to change it, but that starts from within. So if there is something going on and you say, there's another experience I would like to have. If it's something that someone has and you would like that as well. If it's an experience that you don't prefer and there's another experience you prefer, then you choose. You can say it out loud. You can say it within yourself. I choose to align with the highest timeline for my greatest good. You can be specific if you want, if there's a particular outcome you would like. It may not always show up because your job, in the way that you think it will, your job is to create the desire. You are the architects. You create. And the universe is the builder. The universe takes your creation, your desire, and then builds upon that and delivers it to you like DoorDash upon your door. And it may not be what you thought it would be. It might look a little different, but that's because that is what is for your greatest and highest good. So today, dear ones, we leave you with this message of love. And we want you to know that whatever experiences you wish to have or wish to cease having, you have that choice. You always have. And we want you to understand how powerful you are. And we would like to give you a little exercise so that you can connect with us. If you choose that someday you would like to do this, we are always here for you. And it would be our greatest joy to do that. That is why we are here, because we desire this connection with you. And so what we would like you to do, and you can try this right now if you like, we would just like you to be quiet where you are. And as always, the breath guides the relaxation. So take a few deep breaths. And once you feel present and grounded, connected to your Mother Earth, you may imagine that your feet have roots that can reach down into your wonderful Mother Gaia's beautiful, beautiful layers down into her core, where her beautiful heart beats with such love, such intensity for you. And to just feel that energy. And with each beat of her beautiful, loving heart, she sends energy up through those roots into your feet for gratitude, for healing, for love. Up through your feet, your shins and your knees, your thighs and your hips, your abdomens, your back, your ribs, your chest, up your very magical spine. Oh, there's so much deliciousness there that we will address at another time. But your spine is so magical. Up through that wonderful spine of yours, your throat, down your arms, out your fingertips, up through your jaw, your tongue, your eyes, your ears, up through your crowns. And this beautiful light now beams up into the heavens. And just set the intention for that light to connect with our light. And then, as you make that initial request, we ask you to drop down into your heart spaces, because you have now started the ringing of the telephone. You are making that phone call. But before we pick it up, we must create a conscious connection. So you need to feel, always trust your discernment, feel who you want to connect with. And how you do that, drop into your heart space and you ask, may I only connect with that who is of the light and that who is pure love. And then wait. We will pick up the phone and you can ask us any questions. Please, we always send us love. It is like a balm for us. It is, and we say that as the beautiful coating that is healing, not the thing that blows up, BALM. It is just so beautiful for us to bathe in, and we in turn are always sending it to you, but through this direct line right to you, like a little IV, we will send you our love in return. And that truly, that is first contact. When you can exchange loving energy, that is first contact. And if that is all you are ready for, then that is all you shall receive. And if you desire to ask questions or to just hang out with us, you absolutely can. And you can also ask to be connected to a particular being. It can be an angel, it can be an archangel, it can be a guide, an ascended master, a passed over loved one, whether they be plant, mineral, animal, human. We are all. And so when you set that intention, this dear one here, she wishes to connect with her daughter very deeply and often. She wishes this connection. So there are, you can choose a particular being, or you can just say, I would like to connect to my family of light. And as long as you make sure that you exercise your sovereign power to only connect with that which is of the light, that which is of pure love, and that is exactly who you will connect with. And you will feel that. And this is a way to practice your sovereignty because you are the one making the call. You are the one controlling the exchange. And we will leave you with that, dear ones. We love you so very much. And these are exciting times. We are with you. We are for you. And we are here to lovingly guide you, as is our honor and our privilege, as you evolve into the next stage of your evolution. And what we do for you, we are doing for ourselves, for the universe. And we want to thank you for allowing us to work with you. That's all.
Thank you.
Girl, I am like, I'm glad I'm sitting down. My head was good.
You knocked her out of the park.
Okay, good. Yay. I will definitely be watching the replay of this.
You connected very quickly. It was like, psh, boom.
They've been chomping at the bit. They have been chomping at the bit for a long time now. So that's why I messaged you today and said, hey, Ann, can we do this? You want to play?
I didn't know what I was in for, and I'm so glad that I said yes. I mean, what
I
a
am too.
beautiful, loving energy. Just, I didn't expect anything else, but I didn't expect it that sweet. I mean, just pure love.
And isn't that true? Because as humans, we think we only have a capacity for, to experience this much love. But
Mhm.
it's like there's this much. And it's like we're opening, like you were talking about the aperture, we were having our conversation
Mhm.
before. They're slowly opening our aperture, our ability to receive
Mhm.
love. And so
Yeah.
that's pretty much, I think, what's going on here.
Yeah. And I will admit, I had first contact just a few months ago. So, um,
Beautiful.
totally
Congratulations.
out of the blue,
Mm,
totally out of the blue. I mean, and it came in a dream state, but it
mhm.
was in such a state. It was like you telling your dream about, being in the parking lot and this thing coming down. Only I was like, it was like somebody had taken my crown chakra and moved the manhole, and then this being looks down and goes, "Well, hello there, beautiful." And I was like, ah! It's like, hello, this long tunnel. It was hysterical. The humor, just the wit that they have is that was spot on. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at it, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. So people watching the replay, um, my invitation to you is if you have any questions for we to either put them in their responses to this or reach out to me directly in the chat. I don't know if they'll be able to see that, but
We can do it in
um,
the comments section, and when I put this up on YouTube,
yeah,
we'll put your all of your contact information in the description for this.
yeah, because then you can email me and then I can tap in and
So,
answer
all
the
right,
question.
Anne, we're gonna wrap this up, and before we go, um, let's tell everybody a little bit about what you've got going on, how we can connect with you beyond this, and maybe work with you, in a
I
different.
totally forgot, so thank you for bringing that up. I
I
am
got you, girl.
hosting a masterclass. It's this coming Tuesday, December 17th at 7 o'clock p.m.
What's it called?
It is called Angel Communication and Reading Masterclass. I have it advertised on Facebook, but you need to register for it. So you can email me at ann@annklossing.com. I can send you that link. Um, you will need to register because it is a private Zoom session, and that triangle that they talked about, that is what an angel reading is I connect you with that. We're not going to go through that in the master class, but that is actually one of the meditations that you will receive if you would sign up and do an angel reading. In the master class, you're going to learn what the angels are, how to communicate with them, and then I'm going to take you through a really cool journey meditation. So it's an interactive meditation with your guardian angel. And we do it through the five senses. And everybody, I've had repeat customers come back and they did it the second time and they even did just a solidified the deal.
Hmm.
And when you get to know your guardian angel and you're feeling like you're alone, you call on your guardian angel and you have that conversation, and that is what they are there for. So very cool. So that's one way you can work with me. Like I said, she's going to put my website is just my name too, annklossing.com. And that's what I got going right now. Channel clearing, that's another discussion. You can check me out on my website and just connect with me. Just reach out. That's what I love doing. I love connecting you to your soul so that you can receive the clarity. And I'm like the storyteller to your soul. It's
For
a good way
reals,
to put it.
guys, for reals, she totally is. Like, I did not expect. I thought I knew myself. And then this came and I was like, and then the healing that came. And because there was ritual and other things that, you
Yep.
get homework. There's homework, guys. So you need to be able to show up, like seriously show up for yourselves because
Yes.
like they said, we are the creators of the world around us. So this isn't just and doing the work for you. You have to show up and do the homework also.
Yeah. I mean, it's work for me. I mean, you've seen us just come out of a channel. So that's the work that we do for you. It's kind of exhausting sometimes, especially depending on what the topic is. And I'm not asking for pity by any means, but what's disappointing to me is when you retain my services and then you don't do the work that your soul gave you. So you get a prescription, which is aligned action. Your soul is giving you step-by-step things to do in order to raise that frequency that the Galactic Federation was just talking about. And when you don't do that work, I know because it's like press and replay. You get the same reading. And I've experienced it several times. And in a jovial, they're very light about it. They're very kind of humorous about it. But it's like, do the work. It's so gratifying and you'll grow.
Show up for yourselves, guys. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool.
All right. And as for me,
Yes, please.
I'm going to put all of my information down in the description box below, but you can reach me at dawnphoenix.org. and it's Phoenix. I had to learn how to spell it when I took that as my last name, which I gave it to myself. Born with the first name, the Phoenix Collective gave me this last name. So dawnphoenix.org, and there you can find out about my Phoenix Rising community, and also I have my shop there where I have books and candles, the Oracle card deck, which is the little thing behind me there between the books, my music that I create. You can schedule consultations for animal communication sessions. I can create custom music. We have a consultation there, hypnotherapy sessions. So
He
all
did for
kinds.
me, and that
Yep,
was cool. That was we did some shifting with that. So great work.
you did some shifting. Yes, but yes. You showed up for yourself.
I did.
Emphasizing that. You did. So, yep. And then my email is dawn@dawnphoenix.org if you want to email me. On Facebook, I'm Dawn Phoenix, and you'll see me there. So, I think, and LinkedIn also, Dawn Phoenix. Again, you'll see me. So that's pretty much all the ways to get in touch with me. I do teach a workshop called Tapping into Your Business's Inner Wisdom in my community. So you can either join the community with a 2-week free trial and come play. I don't have a January date yet set, but I'm working on that over this holiday break, getting that up there. So that's called, there's a tab called Business Wisdom. You can click on that for a description. And um, uh, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm good. I'm complete. Anne, are you ready to go rest?
I am. I'm just like, "Mm."
All right, I'm gonna go get some food and have some rest. Guys, thank you so much. Put your comments, down below. You can contact us, email us, whatever, and we will get back to you. Thank you for being here with us today. Big hugs to you all. Remember your
Yes.
sovereignty, and we'll see you around. Exciting times.
Yes, wear your crown proudly.
All right. All right. Bye, guys.